Welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be talking about why you shouldn't explain yourself and why it's a mistake to do, okay? So, what I mean by this is not you're having some type of introductory conversation and someone goes, "Well, what do you mean by that?" "Oh, that's interesting. Explain more." In those situations, if you feel like you want to explain more, then do so. But if there's a situation where you're talking to someone, for example, about your desires and what you want, and then they start telling you why you can't have that, or why it's dumb that you want that, or just disagreeing with you about how much they don't agree with your standpoint, about how much they don't understand you, this is where you stop explaining. And I feel like I'm making this video for myself as well as other people out there who maybe need to hear this, but mainly for myself to go back and rewatch and see how I explained it to myself the first time. So the reason I say not to explain yourself is because you get into this battle somewhat of back and forth. There ends up sometimes being some tension there. Sometimes your ego gets thrown in, and now you feel like you have to defend this position, or sometimes they wear you down. And then you decide, oh, well, maybe it is unreasonable that I want this. Or maybe I shouldn't want that. Maybe that doesn't make sense. And when you have friends in your life that you've decided are good for that kind of advice, then that's not a bad thing. But when you're letting everyone dictate what your desires and your wants get to be in life because it doesn't sound right to them, it's you're gonna get to the end of your life and you're gonna be like, dang, I didn't do half of the things I wanted to do, and I wish I wouldn't have lived like this. And so one way to think about this, to kind of reverse it on yourself, because we all want to be understood, right? We all want to be, like, we all want to be validated in some way. We want to be with people who might agree, like, yeah, girl, you get to have that thing, or yeah, that opinion totally makes sense. I think as a race, a human race, we want to feel validated in some sense. We want to be understood in some sense. So a good way to think about this is, it's not that you don't get to have what you decided you wanted to have. It's not that you don't get to have your desires. It's not that your idea is silly or it doesn't make sense. But it's that you are at the wrong counter. Okay? Does that make sense? So like you go into the grocery store or something and you're like, let me get $500 out from my card. Like, let me spend some gum and then you charge me the extra $500 and then give that to me. And they're going to be looking at you like, man, this isn't really the place for that. Right? And so that means you don't get to have the $500. It's on your card. You have it. So what that really means is you need to switch up the way in which you're going about it and go to the bank and withdraw that $500. I hope that makes sense. I feel like my analogies can be so crazy. But essentially, you want to go to the right place to have your desires fulfilled, to have your desires heard, to have your desires validated. Somebody is going to understand you. Somebody out there, even though you haven't met them yet, is going to understand the place that you're in right now and understand the desires that you are having right now. So just because someone doesn't agree with you, even if they're important to you, it doesn't mean you can't have what you want. Because important to you and, emotionally calming, or, a friend, a mother, a father, a husband, hopefully not a husband, but those people, even though they're emotionally important to you and you put them on a higher pedestal than some random guy that you would see on the street, doesn't mean that you then have to coordinate your desires with what they think is right and what they think makes sense. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for somebody. I feel like it was smoother in my head than the way it came out. But I'm definitely going to come back and watch this video for myself. And I'll see you guys in the next video.